for this new tutorial, for this new video YouTube. My name is Bruno Flava and I've written my last post about all the experimentation that I've made in 2005. And what I will dedicate this video to explain all the code that I've made. So you can read the article. I also made some podcast, and I made an extra chapter on the 2005 election and the connection between IA. But if you're not interested in, and if you only want to have explanation about the code, so you're at the right place. So the first thing that we're going to go through, as you can see, I'm using Sublime. The Sublime will be my walkthrough for this video. And I will try to use also Visual Code to edit the content. And also I have my console open, and I've created I'm using Anaconda to manage my Python environment. And so we can go from there. So the first thing was, how do you match keywords extracted from a CMS, which is like, for instance, Drupal, or a homemade CMS, or even WordPress, and how do you connect, how do you match semantically with the keywords provided by intelligence artificial generated using Claude, Mistral, or ChatGPT. So that was my first concern, because that's part of my work. As I'm an EA coordinator, I need to find out how can I implement intelligence artificial and also provide a real editorial assistant to people that are working with and avoid hallucination. Okay, so we are in the good directory. So those, this is the directory where you have it, so you can grab it from GitHub, and you see that's exactly the same here, and that's exactly the same here. So let's take, in my walkthrough, I want to dedicate first to these two files. I will explain them quickly, and then we have the 5. Okay, so the first one is a very simple one. So I take English first. It's I've simulated in a way the EA generated keyword and the CMS existing, and I'm trying to use, and I'm using, by the way, I'm using this model to compare it. So I'm using also FAISS because it's more quicker to make comparison with the index. Okay, so let's see what you can produce, and I will try to provide, like simulating to a journalist, the proposition of keywords based on that. Okay, let's do it. So you get there, then you ensure that you're in the right Anaconda environment. So I've made plenty of video and YouTube video about how to install Anaconda, but right here I have all my package installed, and then I will launch this one. So you see, he's making comparison. It's pretty quick. He's making comparison, if it comes. He's making comparison words to words. So Zelensky means it's as a similarity close to 1 because it's Zelensky. It's a proposal from the EA intelligence, and on the second hand the CMS, and then he's provided at the end an ordered list of similar keywords existing in the CMS. And the idea is to make it more complex. Like I said, this is more complex, so I'm going to use the 5, where it means that I will work with a JSON. Let's say I simulate an API call, which is this one. So this time I'm going to work in Portuguese. I have a certain amount of, a large amount of keywords, and I try to say, okay, if I am API-centric in a CMS, I need to grab this call and then to compare it with what has been provided by the GIA generated. So unfortunately, I'm not making the call from the LLM, but everything can be, how do you say that? Well, I can make the call right away on fly, and I can make also the GIA generation on fly. But right here, just for the purpose, for the sake of the educational and this video, I'm just defining the keywords. I'm fixing the keywords provided by the EA generative. So you will see with the help of FAISS, it goes much quicker, even though I have a certain amount of keyword right here. So it's going to make a comparison between all this list that it's here and what has been provided by the intelligence artificial, and then we'll get out with an editorial proposal, you see. And I've put the similarity superior or equal to 0.9, meaning that if I decrease it, let's say I would say 6, which is less accurate, I may grab a lot more. So it's not really interesting because there's no value for the editorial to have thousands of keywords, even though, I mean, this is keyword stuffing mostly. Yeah, not much. Anyway, by the way, well, so you see that's the principle. For this one, I made a comparison into English, but what is interesting with this kind of model is that it's a multilingual model. So for instance, if I take, I make, for instance, the same comparison between, and say we're going to compare it in Russian, and that would be my last point for this video. Everything, every time, so I'm clear my console and try to figure out this way. So you see, what is interesting is that you can use this principle for semantic comparison, but what is important is that when you have to manage multilingual, then you need to find a model that is able to make this comparison, and that's the case with this one. And that's exactly my situation, okay? I'm working with a multilingual environment, so for in any language, I should be able to deliver such a features, okay? Thank you for watching. I hope you liked my video. Sometimes it's a bit confusing. I will come later with another video about all this code and use case that I have defined. So see you in a minute. Bye-bye.